So I'm calling my agent like, get me out of here, trade me. And my mentor at the time, Doug Bibby, and my agent, Bill Duffy, was like, cream rises to the top. So stay the course. And then a year later, I've become, I think, one of the second youngest point guards behind Magic to win a championship at a young age.
Welcome to another episode of Thanalysis Show, with your one and only Thanasis, Antetokounmpo, and Tony C.
What up?
C. Week 1, NBA basketball is back. So we're very, very, very hyped, very, very excited. And today we have a legend that's so, you guys are going to be so amazed when you guys see him. We'll have a special guest today. But before we go to our special guest, we want to thank our sponsors. Remember, it's Thanalysis presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call.
That's all.
I want to thank Prisoner Wine Company. You guys are amazing. Their wine's amazing. We'll give some to our guests, give some to people around you guys. I want to thank Potawatomi Casinos and Hotels. Whenever you come to Milwaukee, that's the place to stay. They have great experience, great room service, and entertainment. Plus, you might win some money. Never know. And last but not least, McDonald's in the building. Tony, did I forget anything?
Nope, you knocked it all out the park right there. Nice and easy. I just want you to get to the intro at this point. Today's guest is an all-timer.
He's an all-timer. And you have to give him the intro that's well-deserved for a person like this. From Kentucky, an NBA champion, your favorite guard's point guard, Rajon Rondo.
Appreciate the introduction.
My dog, I get the privilege and the blessing, the opportunity to work with him, on a daily basis. But people watching, people being on the show, listen to the show as well. Do the people know you with the Bucks? Do people know you're part of our?
They learned it during the Cavs game. I'm telling you, when you did the television hit.
Yep.
And the online chatter, my phone started blowing up. It's like, what is Rondo doing with the Bucks? And I was just like, one, connect the dots. He might know Doc Rivers a little bit. Yep. But if you want to explain to people what your role is with the team and what you're doing in Milwaukee.
So it all started, Doc Rivers and I have an amazing relationship, despite our first 8 months together, rookie season. But other than that, like I said, we got over the hump. And like I said, he's one of my closest mentors to this day. And he came to my wedding 2 years ago. And he put me in a headlock. He said I need to get my butt in Milwaukee. And here I have been the last couple of years. Last year I was more in a consultant role. This year, the name has changed. I think it's called Coaching Associate.
Yep.
That's what they had you on the broadcast.
Yep.
Associate.
So, I'm around more, and I'm able to be on the bench this year legally. So I got a couple calls last year with the NBA about me being on the bench because I didn't have a particular role or a particular title. But this year I am, and I'm grateful to be in that position because I'm able to talk to the guys. And my biggest strength is to be able to help the guys in-game adjustments while on the fly versus, talking to them after the game and watching film. So It's been exciting for me, and it's being a part of the organization now. And a lot of kudos to the coaching staff as well. He has a big staff, and all those guys have been welcoming and teaching me a lot of things that you don't see in the back lens of being a coach.
And this is what. So I wanted to let him say this is what the NBA and everywhere in basketball needs right now. It's just the league has become so young. We were talking about this and with Miles
with Chris Middleton. Yeah, we had TA's the oldest member of the Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Middleton's the oldest member of the Washington Wizards.
Yeah,
no one's over 34.
It's bro.
Unbelievable.
And it's become so young. And today we're gonna talk about that. Just what does it take to be a mentor and what's the psyche you have to kind of accept that role? It's hard. It's not easy to accept that role. Hey, I'm here to help. Not to here to be the star. It's very, very hard. And then today we're going to talk about as well about the different era of the NBA because I was telling him before we started that you guys know a different era of the NBA, which is the highlight. Oh, Wemby this and Giannis this and that. Before this was a different era. Different grid. We're gonna talk about that as well, and kind of talk about a lot about our your runs to the championship, and what's the similarities and what have you learned in your experience. So, starting first, we want to talk about a little bit about being a mentor, being a coach. What does that entail, and how come you was like, okay, let me get into this role now?
Well, for me, I've always loved teaching the game. And I've actually gotten to chess probably the last 5 years, so always being a couple steps ahead of the game, just like you do in chess. It's just like any way in life. And so for me to give back to, the young generation, along with, that's why I haven't been full-time, is because of my kids. My daughter just went, she's attending Alabama now. She's a freshman playing volleyball.
Oh, congratulations, man.
And then my son's playing varsity as 8th grader. So I'm just trying to always be a mentor, be a teacher, pay it forward through life and give back to those who give back to me. So for me, personally, it's just an honor. I've had great veterans in my past, guys like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, a lot of greats. I even, Shaquille was my vet, Rasheed Wallace. I can go on and on, but those guys, for me, have always taught me everything that I try to do in the game. As I prepare for the game, as I leave a game, how I talk to my teammates, how I talk to people in organizations. So it's just taking notes from all the greats I played with, all the great leaders and role models I played with. And now it's my turn. I'm in a situation to where I'm able to pay it forward and give it back.
So you said your son is playing varsity as an 8th grader, and with you in the coaching game, I know you're working on a couple AAU things. Are you coaching him at all? Coaching younger kids in addition to NBA players?
I am actually. We just got a Nike EYBL deal.
Yes.
It's a great team, and it's been a grind. It's been 3 years. We've been independent. Just trying to build the right program around my son, and a lot of great people that's helped me build that program. Tim Barnett, head coach, his name is JC Kennard. So I'm the assistant coach actually, because I don't want to always be that one voice for my son. So I want to give people around him, and I try to build a family, a group of guys that's able to mentor him and push the same message and get him to where he wants to be in life.
Love that.
No, I love it so much. So now, first thing I was going to ask you, like, what's your relationship with, like, you mentioned like Paul and Kevin.
It's great. I mean, Kevin probably sends me something 2 or 3 times a day on Instagram. Paul and I talk, every once in a while. Like, his birthday was just passed, so I called him, wish him happy birthday. Until this day, when I'm ever in LA, I always call him. We try to get to dinner somehow, some way, and vice versa. Kevin and our daughters both play volleyball.
Yeah,
I think she's attending Michigan next year, so we still have those, so many different ties for us, family, kids, and then our daily lives. So it's been a blessing, like I said, to have that as a brotherhood for the rest of your life, not just a couple years we played the game together. I have a lot of great relationships, a lot of my ex-teammates, and like I said, it's about how you handle daily activities versus just being a basketball player. Like life goes on.
Looking up, when we were prepping for this interview and just looking up, you have players who, some guys play their entire career one place.
Right.
And then you had your big run with the Celtics, and then the guys who you played with after Boston. Obviously, you played with Hall of Famers in Boston, but like you played with nearly 15 like Hall of Famers or legit all NBA guys. Is there any of those moments that stick out to you when you look back and you're like, yeah, I really played with LeBron and Wade and Paul, and just like it's kind of unreal.
Not really. I don't know if I'm just trying to always stay in a moment. And for me, when I was able to even get with the big three, it never was an aha moment because I wasn't a fan of any of those guys. No disrespect, I just didn't really watch basketball. Growing up, I didn't watch Michael Jordan play. I was just a kid outside playing.
Really?
I never had hoop dreams. I actually had football dreams.
Oh yeah.
So
really?
So basketball.
What position?
Quarterback.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Makes
quarterback.
sense.
Well, you were recruited to Kentucky to play football.
No.
Okay.
No. I stopped playing football my sophomore year in high school.
Gotcha.
I had a better relationship with my basketball coach, so I kind of went towards basketball, and then my boys were playing basketball. But if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have. If my basketball coach was my football coach, I would have played football.
Really?
That's the type of leadership I had. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's
Do
crazy.
you watch it now? Are you dialed into the NFL?
I don't watch NFL at all. No, I'm pretty bad. I used to be a Packers fan back when Brett Favre was, back in the day. But other than that, when he left the Packers, that's kind of how I left the game. And when I stopped playing football, I kind of just leaned towards basketball more.
I feel like quarterback and point guard are pretty
No.
similar. Leadership, smartest guy on the field.
Yeah, to a fault, basically, because we're talking about you got a quarterback the whole play, and his era of point guard was totally different than this era of point guard.
Yeah.
Like his era of point guard was
you were
TA, you in the corner, you in the slot. Even if you were on defense, like hey, get to the corner. They coming right to the corner. You get to the 45. Totally different. And I wanna talk about that in a little bit. Come to watching the game now, right? And you're on a bench and you see Giannis make that pass yesterday. Look at the rim and pass it behind the back.
Yeah. Only thing I'm mad about that pass is Miles' foot was on the line.
Wow, so it was on the line.
It's long too.
Was it actually a two?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've watched that highlight 12 times, and I think I've never actually watched the shot. I've just watched that pass. That looked like you.
I think he had one nice one of those last year as well.
Yeah.
With
Dame.
Yeah.
How would you teach that to people? Like, because I don't think like somebody taught Giannis that. He's mostly like, hey, I got just, because there's two different levels of passing, right? And the one level is that I move you and I pass. Like I can see the pass before it happens, right? I can see this way or left or right. You're in front of me, but if I look left or right, I can manipulate the game and maneuver the game to where I want it to be. But for Giannis, it's different because he's already over you. So sometimes he's already seeing the pass before he makes it. Sometimes. So for you, how do you teach people to be better with passing or better, let's say, creating this so-called matrix in the game that it slows down for them?
It's kind of difficult to say teach it, but like for me, a couple things, even with my son now, like I make him rebound the basketball when guys are shooting, and then work on his passing. Like I said, don't be afraid to make a mistake or try a pass that doesn't get there right on time on seems on target, because in games, a lot of guys are getting passes that's not great passes. So while he's practicing those passes or while he's rebounding basketball, two things it teaches him. It teaches him the trajectory of how the ball's going to come off the rim. He's able to get the ball quicker. That's why I was able, only be 6 feet, but have games where I got, 14, 15 rebounds, because it was my speed and I knew the understanding of how the ball would come off the rim. And for two is this, like I said, those behind the back passes you see guys may make. I work on those passes during practice. When I'm rebounding for Kevin or when I'm rebounding for even my son now, it's like I still play with the game, have an imagination, and work on those type of passes.
Yeah, you do have to have an imagination because it's not the normal, typical. I remember how coaches would be like, both hands. And then I had another coach who was like, one hand. I don't want to see you do both hands. Like it does play a big role in how.
But if I practice it, then I'll be able to take that chance. But if I don't see you working on it, it's like somebody shooting a step back. It's like, I'll let you shoot that if I see you at practice every day work on it. But if it's the first time I see you shoot this shot and you airball this motherfucker, then you're coming out the game. It's like, if you practice what you preach and you put the work in, and I'll give you reins to do what you need to do as a player.
When did you get to the point in your career, whether college or pro, where you could try stuff like that you had practice, but you can try it in a game knowing, all right, this one is a turnover, it doesn't get through, I'm probably not going to get yanked out?
I didn't care about the failure part of it.
Okay.
I didn't want to be too flashy or too risky, but at the times when it may be a behind the back or a simple backcourt, a long bounce pass, I try to make those plays. It wasn't always necessary for the flash. It was also for just being the right play to make it the right time.
Like, what's the differences you see between this era of point guards and your era of point guards? Like the biggest difference you see.
The biggest
6 inches of height.
No, not only
biggest,
that, but like,
besides height, I think just the intellect. And now the game for me is more robotic. Even like scouting the game, it's like everyone's running the same sets. There's no really offensive flow, and you throw analytics out there all the time, and people say these things. You want to shoot the ball in the first 6 seconds. Shot quality, shot profile, all these things. But like today, the game, I think players don't have to think as much, and I think that's why the game is changing a lot. And I think the game evolves and changes every so often. So maybe 5 years from now, 6 years from now, we see another run where point guards come back into play heavily and they're more, I would say, appreciated, because now I don't think the game does appreciate the game as far as the intellect of the point guard. But in fourth quarter situations, 3 minutes to go in the game, or the Houston game this past year, or just start of the season, KD didn't touch the ball. 7 out of 8 possessions. It's like, as a point guard, me being on the floor, if Kevin had to touch the ball, I know, being an extension of coach, that Kevin needs to touch the ball. In regards if I'm open 2 or 3 shots, my guy has to get those balls. And then if that's the point guard, if you don't have a point guard on the floor, who's willing to do that? Because the coach only calls on me timeouts, and then the game is going so fast, you need a guy, extension of you on the court, that can slow it down and get guys in the right spots and get guys the ball when they need the ball.
1,000%. It's like, obviously all three, I agree 100%, because that's the way it works. And to add to that, 2 things that's very, very consistent that you see, like the playmaking has shifted from the guard to the small forwards, like to the Jokic's and the Giannis's and the hybrids. It shifted from the point guard saying like, oh, why not need a point guard just because Giannis can have 10 plus assists, Jokic can have 10 plus assists, whoever, the small forwards, which I do believe that it's great to have that. It's a great quality, but it does add a special pressure of those guys, because you basically want those guys to do everything. You want them to score, you want them to lead, you want them to rebound, you want them to die for the ball. Because you're essentially asking the superstar to do everything, to literally create to be a superstar, to lead the team to the playoffs, mentally, to have mental fortitude and physically, right? And then to do the dirty work. Like, okay, now he has to defend.
And that's where, not to cut you off, that's where I pride myself as far as like when I play with the superstars to make their job easier.
Yes.
They don't have to think as much. Let me do all the thinking for you. I'll put you in the right spots. I'll put the other guys in the right spots. So the game is easy for you. And then you can just focus on whether, we need 10 blocks for your night or whether we need 10 assists or whether we need 45 points. So it's about, every game you can't go in with the same game plan, but to have those guys to where they don't have to think as much and they can relax playing with a guy like myself, that's what I took pride in, as being there.
That was one of the best, though.
That's what I think we miss a lot in today's game, where we see, and this starts at younger levels too, though, is like that mentality of I'm going to put a star in a position to make the game easier for them instead of going to make the game look better on your box score. That's where I think we're starting at a young age. We miss a lot of in today. Like that's like rarefied air right there.
And also challenging the stars. You know what I mean? It's like, what I think I gained and earned all those future Hall of Fame, or those first ballot Hall of Famers guys I played with, I earned their respect because of how I approached the game. And they also see that everything I was doing was for the greater good of the team. And like I said, with those things in mind and that mindset, being an extension of the coach, they had to respect where I was coming from and how I approached and played the game, because it wasn't just going to be about talk. It was how I played and how hard I wanted to play and try to fight for the team.
Yes. The other thing is so true. The other thing, too, he's got to understand the reason this is happening, too, is because the NBA is like a copycat league. Like whoever wins, everybody models. Like, that's why you see all the same plays. Like I remember it was an era when I got drafted, 2014. Remember I was talking about the floppy? I was like, where is that anymore? Just coming off the screen. And if you don't have anything, you pass to the big, then you play.
Right.
Like then you play. And now you see this kind of the same action, which actually makes it harder because there's everybody the same, so everybody knows what's coming.
Yeah.
But and at the same time, I don't get the sentiment. Analytics, one, copycat league. Whoever wins, we kind of play the model of the same thing. Two bigs. They won with two bigs. We're gonna have two bigs.
Yeah.
That's the example. Giannis is running through the bigs in the East. We're gonna get a bunch of bigs. The same way they did with Shaq, the same way they did with other guys. So that's totally understandable. But I do believe that people who are played different might not win the 75 games, but when it comes to the playoffs, you got to have those difference makers in your team and to be able from top to bottom to be physical. The question I was going to ask you, right? Did you ever thought you was gonna be a coach now after like you playing? Did you ever think like, oh, you know what? When I'm done playing, I'm gonna be with Doc with the Bucks and Doc.
Well, if you was like asked me, obviously back when I got drafted or even the first 5 years in the league, I would have said no. But me being the player that I am, and if I was to watch myself from the outside looking in, I would have assumed that I would have been a coach because of how vocal I was as a player, how I was able to understand and break down defenses as a point guard on the floor. And again, I always pride myself on being an extension of a coach on the floor. It's just not knowing that this type of role will be different, and how much hard work goes into being a coach is unreal. Yes. How many hours of work and preparation, and how many films you have to watch before a game just to get a 14-minute speech to your team before the game and get them prepared for the game. So it's just hats off and kudos to the coaching staffs around the league and in any sports organization, because it's not an easy job.
It's hard. Very. Yeah, have you ever had the situation that somebody wasn't accepting what you were saying? And I'm not saying accept, because accept, it's based on somebody, but I'm saying like really was not messing with what you're saying. Like, nah, I don't want to hear that. Or like,
no, not teammates. Yeah, sometimes, but for me in learning how to, everyone doesn't receive information the same. And like even with my team, AAU team is now like, I got to go back to the drawing board as a coach and see how can I articulate for them to understand the way that I need them to understand.
Yes.
So I don't necessarily get frustrated as I would in my earlier days. Now it's like, okay.
Oh, so you would get frustrated in the early days with teammates?
Yeah, with teammates. Yeah, it's like they're not understanding what I'm saying. But what also helps me a lot, even with my AU program, is like film. We might be in disagreements, but if I go back and show you this film, it's like film doesn't lie. So I don't look crazy, or when I'm yelling at you, this is what I mean by that. So it helps me a lot, navigate, ugly situations that can possibly go a different direction versus let's just keep it where it is. This is the truth. This is what I see as a teammate. I think I can help you improve. And it's always coming from a place of help as well. So it's like it doesn't come off as I know it all, or it doesn't come off as a sense of like I'm trying to undermine the coach or anything. It's just like, okay, this is what I think is for the greater good of the team, and I can be wrong, but let's look at the film and see what's what. Because I've already watched it probably 2 or 3 times.
That's the next level of coaching, by the way. I could be wrong, but let's watch the film. Let's see it together. Yeah. That's the next level of coaching for me. You know, because you remember, like, in the olden days, you would have, let's say, 12 players, and they would all play like one coach. All of them would play like one coach. You'd be like, oh yeah, he went to school there. That's why he's playing like that. But nowadays, one coach has to be 12 players. Has to be, like, everybody's so different. So different. Okay, now obviously, now I want to ask you about the championship run. You guys playing against LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was, like, how do you, like, what was said in the locker room? Like, how do you say, okay, now this is LeBron, the Heat, and now we're gonna play against them, and we want to beat them, and we want to, like, what's the mental preparation for them, for a guy like this, in that stage of his career as well?
It was obviously still there's a lot of greats in every era, but we were playing against a lot of greats in that particular era.
So give me your top 5 then. Who's your, like, was game planning for this guy, and this was, give me your, like, top 5 hardest matchups you guys had to, like,
matchups
really dig in.
Well, the Detroit Pistons, the entire team, I think they had 4 All-Stars, so it wasn't really one particular matchup. You had Chauncey, you had Tayshaun, Rasheed, and then Ben defensively that was, turning the game up in his own way. You obviously had Kobe.
Yes.
You had Shaq. You had Dwight with the Orlando run they had with Circle Lou, all the shooters was stretch 4, damn near the first stretch 4 in a sense. I'm not giving the first one, but Rashard Lewis made it hard on teams.
100%.
With a guy like Dwight rolling and him stretching the floor out. It was
They were
different.
ahead of their time,
It was a
for
different
sure.
era, like I said, because our bigs, KG was shooting along mid twos, and now Rashard was stretching to the 3, so we figured out rotations for that sense. Then you got LeBron, his team, he had the hell of a run they had, and you go to the Miami era. So for us, and for me mentally, I always wanted to play against the best, and there was no use of ducking smoke early.
Yes.
If that was the best guy or the team to go through, we wanted to see that team. If it wasn't no other shortcuts or way around it, for me, I was always a competitor. I'm still, everything I do in life is I want to compete, and that's why I'm happy to be back in this situation where I'm coaching and doing it from a different level of competing, the mental versus the actual physical now. But that's just always the way I approach the game, and then playing for a coach like Doc Rivers. After his pregame speeches, you're ready to run through a wall for him. And he always had the mindset of the guys to go out and fight for one another and understanding, the greater good of the team versus myself or individual things that you can accomplish versus the team. So, we want you win, we win, we all win.
Yeah.
So that was just the mindset.
Is the story true? Did Doc really make you guys leave money in the
Yeah,
ceiling?
in the Staples Center.
Staples Center?
Absolutely.
So what was it? You had to T. Have you ever heard this?
I think it was $100.
Yeah, that's what I read. They had to leave $100
Yeah,
in the ceiling of the Staples Center, so you guys would return there to.
Absolutely, to get that bread, get the money.
I just wanted
back.
to make sure that was that's
True story.
That's pretty
Insane.
incredible.
So when he did that, how did you feel? Like, what was that? How did you feel when he said that? Like, hey guys, we're gonna get some money.
To me, it was just like anything I do. If I was to bet in life, it's like I want to win. I want to get back at it. I want to get back to the Staples Center and grab the money. And obviously, it's a small incentive creates a bigger goal to accomplish. But that was just a mindset. I do that with my kids at AAU now. It's not necessarily money, but I'm like, I might give them VCs or what they're interested in. It's like to give
It is so crazy. I heard a quote today from Coach Vin Baker. You guys can clip this or listen to this. It said, and it's a Bible quote, Coach Vin. He said, if you're faithful in little things, you will be faithful in greater things. If you're faithful in little things, just the little things, you will have access to even bigger things because you put your faith in and you believe in this. This might not mean, somebody else might be like, nah, I don't even care about this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you care for these little things, greater things are coming. Greater things will be. Who is the guy that you was like, okay, we don't have nothing for him. Like we keep doing this, we're competing and we have no answer for this guy. And
it was never one guy, but the time that did occur was Game 6 when we had no answer for Bron when he came into the Garden, and I think he dropped 46 or 45, and it was nothing no one could do, and I was very frustrated because I usually always able to figure it out, and I couldn't because the look in his eyes, and I think for him, I think that took his legacy and his career path to another level because I feel like if we would have beat them in that particular game, they were done for, and then he would probably try to figure out somewhere else to go because he had went from Cleveland to Miami to particularly kind of beat the big three. Mm-hmm. And, kudos to him and his staff. And I remember, I think I talked to a couple of teammates, Joel Anthony and D-Wade were talking about the look that he had in his eyes at halftime and before the game, Game 6. Like, obviously we didn't know what he was thinking or what he was doing, but we knew he had to come in with some play, but I think we threw everybody at him. You know, we threw all our best defensive players. I tried to guard him a couple possessions. He just shoot me at it like a little fly. I mean, he really took advantage of, you know, that moment, and he capitalized, and, you know, his career went, you know, where it is now.
It's wild he's still playing, right?
No,
like the highlight you're talking about was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's still playing at when he's healthy at an elite level.
I mean, I think what you just said about the discipline, the faithfulness of the little things, like that's, you know, one thing, you know, kudos to him is like, as all the greats I played with, him and Kevin are the two most disciplined elite leaders I've played with, and do everything the same every day. They don't take short steps. They don't cheat the game. They take care of the body. They take care of their treatment. They're eating the proper foods. Yes. Of course, they're humans. They live life. But at the most part, everything I've always saw and seen from those guys, and I take the most kudos to those guys, is their discipline to their approach every day.
Speaking of Kevin Garnett, we can get back to basketball in a second.
But I do have because he said something about like this. The observation I wanted to make is like you just see like with great players, even with them with Kobe, right? They're with the Lakers, like great players, like they recognize that a couple of these games that to fans is just games. To some people, it's legacy defining.
We're 1,000%.
Legacy, like my legacy is on the line, you know, and that adds more to the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, like, right?
And the pressure, I mean,
in that game 6 you mentioned, I think Paul Pierce also had like a 40-point game or something where he went head-to-head with LeBron in that series. And like,
no, I don't think it was that.
It wasn't that one.
I think Paul gave us 40, we would have won. But no, it was against the Cleveland. When he was with Cleveland, that's when that was. That's when he had. They both had a 40, and yeah.
Because I remember that game was like an all-time classic.
Yeah,
it was like
we went Game 7, and then the thing about it is that's why basketball is a great and unappreciated team sport. I think volleyball is the most celebrating the best team sport there is. I mean, I'm a little biased. My daughter plays. But we'll get back to that. But no, I was saying about the that series was that P.J. Brown hit the game-winning shot. And it's like, nobody ever talks about P.J. Brown, but we picked P.J. Brown up late waivers, I think in February. He was out all season, I believe. And then, like I said, it takes the entire team to win, whether it's your practice players, whether it's your guy that's the 11th man on the roster. He hadn't played all series. He comes in, hit a big shot, and it's a game winner. So it's like just having that mindset, it always takes everybody, and everyone has to always be ready.
Always. You were saying something about KG. You wanted to say something about
KG. Obviously, one of the greatest players ever. I think everyone of our generation grew up a fan of his. And then he went to Hollywood. I wanted to get your opinion of KG and Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah, we're going outside now, outside of basketball.
His performance in that. What did you think of that?
I mean, that's my guy. I'm always going to root for him. He could do no wrong in my eyes. What he's done for my life, and just,
I liked it. I enjoyed his performance a lot, by the way. And shout out to Adam Sandler. He knows how to. First of all, he really loves basketball. One way, I do really think he loves the NBA. Like he loves all of us. Like when we play, he's a great big fan. But I like how he really gives us opportunity to excel in that space, because once you get out of basketball, you become a rookie again, right? And it's always cool. You gotta put Rondo, you gotta put Coach Doe in your next movie. I'm not even joking. Like you have to.
Well, because you've done. Do you just write?
My good friend of mine, Common.
Okay.
He's able to throw me in a little cameo,
a little role.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. At a Blackish episode, right?
Yeah, but if you sneeze or blink, you won't know I'm even in the movie.
Hey,
Why, it was a little bit?
It's still credited.
I thought that was. Yeah, I'm still credited, obviously, but
credited.
I'm still getting a $1 check from him too every two.
But you know what it is? So that's how you started. Little cameos here and there, and then you build your way up. First of all, I'm surprised you don't have a podcast. By the way, you don't have your own kind of.
I just don't want to talk every day.
I believe you. I'm with you.
And like I said, I get asked that all the time. I want to do it, and like I said, I'm thinking about doing some things as far as helping and teaching the game, as far as film with young point guards. But for me, again, it's family first. I just became married. I don't want to stretch myself too thin. I do want to particularly be a head coach in this league one day. So I want to try to do too many different things and get off task. For me, what I'm doing with the staff now is it's monumental for me in my career. It's like I'm learning so much. I'm taking notes every day.
You did it the right way.
I'm able to have a voice in the locker room. So it's like, I want to stay on that path and go towards that goal right now.
No, you did it the right way. By the way, you can always do both. Obviously, you showed JJ Redick. You can always do both. You can always have a mind of games.
Or any kind of play you want to break down and spread some knowledge.
You can always come here and do it.
Okay.
Bro, if you listen, this is not even over exaggerated. Not now, years from now. If you even decide to do anything remotely close, in a heartbeat, we'll get you a deal. In a heartbeat, we'll get you a deal. But you can see, Steve Nash now is like mad games with LeBron and stuff like that, kind of dissecting the game. You want to ask anything else outside of basketball? Because I'm about to go back to basketball, and I want to ask him about because Kevin came a lot of Giannis's 7th year, 8th year. He would come here along with J Kidd, kind of hang around with him. And I remember Giannis would always text us and send us videos and links from KG's videos, and I would always get so amped up and so hyped, man. Was he like that as a teammate too? Obviously, I know probably, but was he really like that as a teammate? Was he? Because this is just him mentoring. This is not even him being a teammate.
Yeah, I mean, I think people starting to see his personality a lot more. Obviously, he's doing his podcast and doing that thing. But he's a hell of a storyteller. He loves to talk, and I think that's why he's great with his podcast. I'm kind of the opposite. I will talk, but I don't want to talk every day. And like I said, he's a great storyteller. He's one of my best teammates of all time. He's a great leader. He's a great captain, and he's not just doing it with his words. He does it in everyday action. And he would spend 5-6 hours after the gym taking care of his body, just being a pro, proper food, how you hydrate. He's the first one to put me in the hyperbaric chamber, back in, the finals against the Lakers. He used to sleep in the chamber 2 hours. I used to take my naps in there. So it's kind of he opened my eyes so much as a young player. And then a lot of guys in those positions don't always have that type of willingness to teach and give back. And so I always respected him for being, the man that he is, that he wasn't insecure about, able to give me my keys or give me my flowers at a young age. And like I said, it's very rare, and I know he knows that I appreciated that, coming from a person like himself, that he could have stayed off to himself. He didn't have to give me anything. And then when I was wrong, he was the first one to call me and be like, hey, young fella, you should have handled this away. You need to apologize. Or when I was right, he was the first one to call. I would just say the same thing. So it's just I was fortunate to have a guy like that in my career. And I think what you're talking about, vets now, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, the league is kind of so young, and
it's just so young.
Yeah,
but 5 years, huh? You at least get 80 to be a vet.
You need at least to be 36, 37. Be like, okay, I'm a vet now. I'm talking to guys 33. Yeah. I'm like, whoa.
We were talking the other day, Prisoner Wine's one of our sponsors. We guys are on their second contract before they can even buy it. You get in the league at 18, and now everything is when you watch the draft, everyone is one and done, right?
Yeah.
There's very rarely 2-year players, 3-year players at college unheard of.
Yeah. And
you're just so young. By the time you're on your second deal or your third deal, you're 24, 25.
Right. Yeah. 24, 25. So I want you to give us a story that stick out with you, either during the draft when you were getting drafted.
Ooh, I got one.
Go.
Say less.
Go. Just say it.
Okay, go
no,
ahead.
you're going to draft it. Then I won't say.
So for me, I was drafted 21st pick, but leading up into the draft, right after college, I think we lost to Connecticut, and Tubby and I, that particular year, I got suspended. He had suspended me 5 games for whatever reason.
Wait, he suspended you for 5 games?
I was suspended I lost my starting position.
So wait.
I still play.
So suspension then would be from coach or from the league?
No, this is college. I'm at Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
I'm at
Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm at Kentucky. So this is the year I'm thinking I'm actually going to the draft as well. So I'm mentally, that leading up to the draft I was kind of mentally messed up because, again, I'm thinking I'm supposed to be one pick because my high school class, we had 14 guys come straight out of high school. So
wow.
I was in the 2004 class.
That is a talented class right there.
Dwight Howard, Josh, Robert Swift, Sebastian Tips, a lot of guys. We had a lot of guys to go. So for me going into college, I feel like I was already behind. So I went to college with a mindset of just work. I didn't have a great time in college. I didn't party. I didn't do anything but besides eat, sleep, and dream basketball because I felt like I was behind because of my peers. So draft night, I'm on the phone with my agent. I don't go to New York because I'm supposed to be a high pick, but I'm not. I'm not really getting any traction with some.
So you don't go to the draft?
I don't go to the draft. So I have a party, a little get together in my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, a little spot up the street, and it's the longest wait in my career, in my life, not career, but in my life. It's it seemed like I think I was waiting 2.5 hours to get picked on the 21st pick. And the crazy thing is that the 20th pick, his name was Ronaldo Balkman. So I hear the R enunciation to the Knicks because they told me they were going to pick me as well. So they go, Ronaldo Balkman. And I'm about to stand up and my heart dropped. I'm like, damn, it's and then you don't know that you're going next until a couple minutes later, my agent was like, hey, Phoenix is going to pick you. And then you're going to get traded to the Celtics. Because thinking if I was with the Phoenix, I go play behind Steve Nash, I might sit for 2 or 3 years and not even get an opportunity to play. So, I'm thankful that it did work out to where I went to Boston. Didn't play my rookie year as well. And it was funny, I was talking to Jericho the other day, and I was telling him, I was like, hey, be ready, young fella. He was like, Doc told me to be ready the last 2 games. I was like, funny story is, he used to tell me that all the time as a rookie. But the thing about Doc, he would call me in his office before the game and say, hey, I'm going to play tonight. And then the fourth quarter comes, I'm looking down at the bench like,
he don't play you.
still not in. So it was kind of the mental warfare as a rookie, and
Mental warfare. That's
kind of earning my stripes, and being able to have mental fortitude to kind of fight through the adversity of thinking one thing and not being able to, the outcome that you wanted. On top of us, we lost 18 straight that year. So I'm calling my agent like, get me out of here, trade me. I want to do that, this. And my mentor at the time, Doug Bibby, and my agent, Bill Duffy, was like, cream rises to the top. So stay the course, continue to work. And then a year later, 7 players got traded to Minnesota. And then, I've become, I think, one of the second youngest point guards behind Magic. Or, I think I was 20 years old to win a championship at a young age.
You remember when all those transactions went down? What was your reaction? Because it was it was obviously pre-Twitter.
The crazy thing is I was at home at my mom's house, and the first day about the trade, I was in the rumors. I was in the trade rumors. My name was on the TV.
Okay.
Then Danny called me. He was like, "You're not going anywhere," and that's when you hear the story that Kevin has been telling for the last 16 years.
What was the story? I don't know. What's the story?
Oh, about how he called me he didn't know how to pronounce my name, and he saw a highlight. It was a highlight of me playing against the Knicks. And I think I had maybe 5 points in 4 seconds. I had a point, then I got an inbound steal and 1 layup. And that particular play, he was like, he told Danny, he was like, we got to keep the African kid. He's like, but not knowing who I was, he didn't know my name, and he didn't know how to pronounce my name. So, that's his little running joke he's been saying for 16 years. It's everywhere on.
I'm just here because I'm African as well.
So he he did that, and then like I said, because I guess he's the reason why I stayed in Boston. And obviously Danny, I don't think Danny particularly wanted to give me up, but Kevin was like, he wanted to keep me in Boston and ended up being a starting point guard that year.
What's so crazy? You said about Danny Ainge. Tony Allen had this story about him and saying he would walk by him and was like, hey, how you doing? It's Danny and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I'm just looking for another guy to come take your job. Yeah. To come take your job.
Danny's my guy. To this day, he's one of my favorite guys in basketball. Always, again, he's a great mentor as well, and always kept it real. And the crazy thing about DA one time, and the best conversation we ever had, it was game 6 in the finals, the year we won it. And he came up to me before the game. He's like, what's the most important stat tonight for you? And I was like, steals, assists. He's like, no, FGAs. Because Kobe was playing off of me, and he was smoking up the game. So that particular game, I think I shot 9 for 21. We ended up winning by 25 or 30 or something that game to get it done. But it was with him giving me that confidence to shoot the ball that particular game.
Yes.
Because back then, as a point guard, being on the team with the big 3, shoot 21 times, we're probably not going to go to the finals every game.
Yes.
So he was like, tonight, shoot the ball. And I did, and the rest is history.
Man, yeah. You mentioned Tony Allen, but I don't put it between you, KG, Tony Allen. I'm definitely forgetting a few, but defensively,
Perk.
I mean, yeah, obviously Perk in the middle. Perk. Defensively, you mentioned the Pistons earlier. People forget how good you guys. Paul Pierce was a great defender too, for his even at his side. That was a good defensive basketball team, probably even more so than on the offensive end.
Most definitely.
It starts with Tom Thibodeau. He was our defensive coordinator. Our defensive coach. We drilled. It was monotonous drills over and over. It was boring, but it was a process, and we built it out, and we kept believing in it. And what helped us tremendously was I
like Tom Thibodeau, by the way.
How we communicated.
So I like him as well.
KG was the best communicator I've ever played with, and he made the game easy for me. Yeah, and everybody else, I'm sure, just getting through picks, pin downs, being up top of the ball without being able to look left and right. It was kind of he's talking to me in my ear like an earpiece. It's like, okay, cool, he's right here. Send the ball to the left and the right. It was kind of different from the year before, the young bigs I played with then.
Gotcha.
Wow. You got now the next one I want him to tell me a story about him, but I think he said I wanted you to tell me a story that stick out with you during you guys finals run between you team, and you was like, nah, I'll never forget this in my life, bro. This is
it wasn't really the run, but this is kind of the run we had after we won it. We had a really great time. We did some championship trips overseas that I was actually just telling my wife about 2-3 days ago. I don't think I never told that story, how we were acting over in Milan. But a time was had, and like I said, that's an unbreakable bond that I'm sure a lot of guys at the end of their time or their life, they'll probably be thinking about the time we had in Milan.
The time was had.
It's Milan City, like, it might get you. This might get you, lad. Just to let you know. But okay, so now moving forward, and now I want to talk about like the new generation, right? And how much you've impacted that. I had a podcast with Terrence Mann.
Okay.
And you won't even believe what he said to me. He was like, bro, I have this like card.
You know, was my teammate.
Really?
T-Man was my teammate at the Clippers, yeah.
Oh,
so he had told me about this, yeah. And he had showed me the card, you know, family, everything. So yeah, I had no idea. And things like that are some of the most humbling things.
He looked up to you. You don't understand? He was like, bro.
Yeah.
And then he always had that card in his wallet.
Yeah.
He took it out on the podcast.
He took it out on the podcast. Bro, I couldn't believe it. He took out the card. He was like, you don't understand? This is my good luck. Like, this is how I've been playing my whole life, my whole career. And I'm like, really? And now he's like, and then I was like, oh, it's signed. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were teammates when we both were at the Clippers.
Did he tell you the story? Did he tell you?
I learned the story, seen the card. You know, he's my young guy, one of my favorite players, or you know, young teammates I've ever had. And like I said, I don't know what it is, but I love young guys, and you know, they're willing listeners, and the humbleness that it gives me, and being able to like talk to them, and them able to, you know, be willing listeners. You know, because everybody can talk, but everybody doesn't want to listen. And most people, you know, people don't always have to listen, obviously, unless you.
Of course,
no. Bullshit,
not a lot of people want to listen. That's true.
It's very humbling that I'm able to speak to a lot of young guys, and that's what I love. Even by being on the staff now, like even last night, I was able to see Mobley, Allen, Garland, Hunter. You know, I played with all those guys, and I was always kind of feel like a mentor, a big brother. They might consider me an uncle at that time, but
no, yeah.
You know.
Speaking of young guys, so Cole Anthony obviously started his career in Orlando. He's now here in Milwaukee. Big game the other night in Toronto, and now with your position, you being able to see him, work with him. What are just kind of your thoughts on what he's able to bring to this Bucks lineup?
I'm extremely excited for Cole. I love it even more because for me, my whole life and career, I was usually the underdog, and you know, counted out against, even like when we won the championship. It was like, how do you win with the big three and you got Rondo and Pert? You know, inexperienced point guard who can't do this, Pert can't do that. So for me, that always fueled my fire, and I love, you know, people counting me out. So for Cole, I kind of see the same sense of, you know, Orlando didn't appreciate him or they didn't want him. They say he can do this, say he can do that. So him being in this particular role now with a coach like Doc Rivers, a point guard's dream, to be able to have the ball, create plays, and play with a guy, one of the most dominant guys ever played the game, in Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, the sky's the limit. I think he is the most underrated passer in our game. And I think if he taps into that more, and I think, you know, that's why Doc brought me along as well, just kind of help me echo to him as well. But he can change the game and have a talent like him. Just imagine Cole and Giannis in the pick and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how do you guard it? You know, and now you got to start. Defense has to start to figure out how do you guard that particular play, and if he can buy into the role that Doc and the staff wants him to play in this particular game, and doesn't necessarily have to score, you know, as he was in Orlando. If he can be like more of a traditional point guard, you know, which is rare now. But I'm not gonna say like myself because I wasn't the scorer that Cole is or Cole can become, or that Cole has proven to be.
You did touch the paint though, bro. Like this is the crazy part. Like the way you was being aggressive, even though you might say you at the time you didn't take as many shots as you would want to because of the other three guys, but you was first of all one an NBA player. Second of all, like the way you play, the way you touch the paint, that's all you got to do to be able to create. Because there's guys who, I guarantee you, can put the ball in the basket but cannot touch the paint. So that makes them ineffective.
Right.
Because if I close you out and I don't let you shoot, you're not effective.
What can you do?
anymore.
Yeah, right.
You can't do anything else.
But Cole's, I mean, I'm excited to work with him this year. You know, hopefully he feels better. I texted him earlier today. He said he's feeling better. So I'm excited to see him play. I've been excited ever since day one in camp, watching him play. The passes he's been able to make. He's going to be special, and then I think he's going to make the game easier for his brother. I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's what I like hearing you say that, because when he was interviewed, it might have been a media day or something. He was asked about teaming up with Giannis, and I think he said like it has the potential to be legendary. And of course, the internet does what the internet does. And
but this is the thing.
Like, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing, and then my
skill sets fit.
This is the thing about and podcasts and social media and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you're willing to do. And if you see the vision, you know, people will be like, oh my God, look, they're so lucky they got Cole and look what he's doing. And wow, he's so lucky it turned out this way. How is it luck if we really thought about that this way? How is it really luck? We knew this was going to happen. We knew like this is what we wanted from him.
Yeah. No knock to any, and I'm not, you know, I don't have the every team that he's played for as point guards, but like, Cole, I think, could be one of Giannis' best passing teammates he's ever played with.
No, seriously, because the way he touches the paint and the way he like.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, the passes he make, like I said, the loft on the ball, the trajectory of how he's getting to him. It's like, even I was joking, I told you, I think Giannis hasn't had a rim run pass maybe in a couple of years since he's been here. And the other night, I think Cole delivers one right on the money. It's like, that's what I used to do for my guys. Like, get your easy bucket. You don't have to work as hard. You don't have to Euro. You don't have to elbow anybody. You don't have to get off the floor. Just run to your spot. I'll get it right to you and make it easy for you.
Lay it up. So. I just thought about a question before. This is the question I didn't ask. Because we said something about the big three of Boston, which was Paul, KG,
Ray Allen.
And we call them Ray Allen because he played for the Bucks. Milwaukee. When that was when that was like, like broken up, and he like, what was the feeling like how?
It's a different feeling because
obviously everybody's different, but like,
well, I would say at first I think it felt like betrayal because of the team he went to. It's kind of like, okay, we're at war with the opposite team, the Ops, and then you go join that team the following year, month, not even year, 3 months later, and then now you're fighting against us. That's where I think the disconnect became, and then the tension. But for me personally, the big three were the big three, and I was 21, 22 years old at the time. They were 30. So we had a lot of things in common, but then again, we didn't. We did a lot of great team activities together. We hosted Halloween parties. We did Christmas, birthday. We all separated, and we all showed up and we showed up for one another. When Ray left, I think it more so affected the big three because, again, it was the big three. It wasn't the big three and the other guys. It was the big three. They had their group, and then their age group was different. They would go drink wine, smoke cigars. Young guys, we were just out in the club partying, going to the mall still when we landed in certain cities. So it was like we were different. We were different parts of our life, and I think people thought it was just all like one big blow up when it did happen. It's like, okay, he chose to go to Miami, and it was just more he's the enemy now, and that was just the mindset of just being a competitor that we are. It's like, okay, he's not with us, then go.
Did that change your game plan at all? Did it change, like, obviously when the player leaves, you got to change your game a little bit the way.
Yeah, but people don't notice, like, so the great thing I think that Ray had gotten hurt, and then Avery Bradley stepped in. Yes. And when Bradley stepped into the lineup, I think it was me, Avery, Paul, Perk, and Kevin. And then analytics, the numbers, we had the most craziest defensive rating on the floor. Yes. And, you get stops, offense becomes easier. Yes. So when Ray came back from injury, we had a meeting, and guys still wanted to start Avery. Instead of Ray coming back and starting, and then obviously as a guy like himself, first Alabama, first ballot Hall of Famer, it was hard for him, I think, to grasp. I'm supposed to come off the bench now.
Yeah, it happens.
So I think that was more the disconnect, and then that's probably why he probably chose another team to go around, because I don't think we had valued him as what he wanted to be valued as still at that particular age. And that's just how the game goes. He got hurt, young boy stepped up. And that's when you see Avery Bradley, playing tenacious defense on Dwayne Wade and, diving on the floor. And he was picking a guard damn near every other game, like full court, picking his pocket.
They did like player and the way he played. So it's a lot
of layers to it. But like I said, for the most part, that's my guy. We actually had a good conversation at the Emirates Cup last year.
Okay.
Really
I like that.
Yeah. And like everybody's trying to blow it up like Ray and I are this enemy, just like, it's not that deep.
No, it's basketball at the end of the day. But
so being in Milwaukee when he was here, until like 2002 or whatever, you'd hear stories as fans. It's like Ray would get to the arena early, shoot with the lights off.
Yeah,
routine like that is out.
He was my vet. So in Boston, he did the same thing, and I would come early in, watch how he worked. I would come in at night. Ray would be up top on the treadmill or be in the gym working. So it was like I try to pull from all those guys, all my vets. Keon Doolin. Wally Zerviak. I played with a lot of greats in Boston at that particular time at a young age, and just took as many notes as possible.
To me, I feel like the era has changed so much between like that was a real thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like nowadays they're just trying to create things from thin air. Like they'll be like, oh, they're reaching now, right? Yeah. I feel like now they're reaching for like
clicks.
They're kind of like, oh, he doesn't like each other, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was totally different. That's literally people just go out their way saying like, no, I don't like this guy, blah, blah, blah. But now like guys don't even say that no more because it's different. But guys who are very competitive, they stand out. You see him stand out. Like
Last
guys.
year, and you might have been part of the team for this, when Luka went off against the Bucks in the first half, you were talking to him courtside.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like, TA's talking shit to Luka. They hate each other. Blah blah blah. Like legitimately the complete opposite of the conversation.
I've known Luka since I was 16 years old,
Yes.
by the way. But that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like they just try to create things out of thin air, which is good for the media, good for sport. People watch it. People get more excited, like get riled up. But I'm saying like that era, this was the thing. Like going from, because that's what it is. Like you're going to the opposite team. We're trying to beat them. Yeah. They're the step away, keeping us away from winning a championship, which is our goal, right? Yeah. And you go to them. Similar like this now. Miles came with the Bucks, and it's great. This is what the question I was gonna have. Is like, how do you feel about that now with Miles being in the team? Obviously, I'm very excited. You know, it's like I'm very excited.
With MT on the team?
Yes.
See, to me, it's not the same because like we had history with the Heat in a sense. I think the Bucks Pacers have played last 2 years.
No, it's not even close.
Yeah,
of course.
But
I'm saying like now you hear him coming from a quote unquote another team, and
but
we played twice in a row.
But for him and his situation is different because the financial stability too was like he just came and got a bag.
They didn't want to pay him. I'll be honest with you. That's what I know.
Well, Milwaukee didn't.
No.
Oh, Indiana didn't.
I'm assuming.
Right. So that's different.
No, the
from
numbers are out there now. They've been reported.
I think they didn't want to pay.
I'm only speaking out. This is what I've heard. Like the Celtics offered more than what Miami offered. So it's it wasn't about the money.
Oh, so Celtics offered more than Miami offered?
Celtics offered more than what Miami offered. I think Celtics offered a 2-year deal. I think he got a 1-year deal with Miami, and it was half of it. So it was like it wasn't the money. It was just a matter of as the respect era.
Oh, I just won a championship with y'all. Yeah.
You just want, so it's like you won a championship and you got paid more and you still go to the ops. So it's like the ops that's this juggernaut. There's two teams that always been going at each other for the last.
One of those teams is going out the East, so it ain't no other way.
And then to his defense, he picked the right team to end up winning the championship.
True.
Because of him.
And he hit a big shot. Yeah. So I mean, hey, he
True.
So
yeah, it is.
Miles comes to the Bucks. Obviously, like the Bucks the last couple of years. Yeah. Not bad blood, but the competitive nature, right? You go back and forth with somebody, but sometimes you end up on a team with somebody that you may have bad blood with or have a history with. You ever run any situations like that?
Absolutely. D-Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Great segue question.
How was that? You guys?
We had a conversation before he signed with the Bulls.
Really?
We did. Yeah, we did.
Did you? Who initiated that?
I think he reached out or something and was like, "We cool," And
cool. Of course, because basketball.
No, but he had dislocated my elbow, so that was different. That was when they dislocated my elbow, and then everybody was on the internet was going crazy saying he did it on purpose, and so it was like I said, it was different. Like the Indiana Bucks, nobody's been thrown out or.
But Joe's cool though after like you.
Like I said, we were cool, great teammate. A lot of respect for his career, what he's done for the game. And like I said, for me, as playing with a guy like himself, I wanted to make the game easy for him. Like, at this age, young fella, big fella, like,
Rondo, Rondo. Coach Rondo is the point guard to have, bro. In any era. I'm telling you right now. In any era. Give me your, give me your Mount Rushmore of point guards, bro.
Oh, of point guards.
Yes.
Just so you know, when we do this on the show, a filibuster, so you can think of this.
It doesn't matter. Just give me your Mount Rushmore.
It can be 12.
It doesn't matter. Just give me your like the people you really appreciate. Like.
Really appreciate the point guard. Pistol Pete. Obviously, Magic. Magic Johnson. I love Rod Strickland's game. Steve Nash, respected it always. J Kidd. I mean, nowadays I like Halliburton's game.
Halliburton, Tyrese, huh?
Yeah, the way he manipulated us last year in the playoffs. I mean,
I feel like
I didn't want to respect it, but he made me respect it. Right? Yeah, and like I said, I appreciate his game, how he was able to do it at a high level.
You know what the thing I think he has a very underrated is first of all his pace. Like people will think he moves awkwardly, but that's his pace. Yeah. It's not awkward. It's his pace. It's like he's losing the ball every time he dribbles, but he's really not losing it. He's just trying to get you out of your position. And shooting, okay. Shooting. Like a lot of point guards shoot. But the ability to penetrate, get people involved, that's the magic. Touch the paint, get people involved.
Chris Paul was a great manipulator. for a long time of manipulating the game.
Yes.
You know, especially how he's able to dominate the bigs and the switch. But I mean, there's a lot of greats that obviously play the game. I don't think there's a lot of greats now that's playing the game. And I always joke and say, even kind of when my era still was like,
It's more scoring guards, by the way.
if you threw if the coach got thrown out and only the point guard could run the show, how many teams would have success?
Not a lot of them. I'm
In
telling you that.
in your era, not that many, but
Yeah,
nowadays,
and
even fewer.
Yeah,
Because like in your era, I love that you just throw that. Like if the coach is out, you think of Nash, Chris Paul,
Nash can run
Tony
the show.
Parker, and you.
Right, right.
Nash can run the show. Chris Paul can run the show. Rondo can run the show. Like when I say legit run the show, like he can literally make the subs.
Call
like,
plays,
you
run
go
the
there,
subs.
you
Yeah,
go there.
100%.
That's what I mean.
Sub,
man.
know
Like,
who needs a
everything.
shot, you know, who hasn't had a shot.
Who's guarding who?
Switch the defense up at the free throw timeout. I mean, it's so many layers to teaching the game. And I don't want to segue this, but I was watching film with Ryan Rollins last night on the court. I mean, on the plane last night coming back. And I found myself telling him, like, you have to talk every possession.
You have to.
It's like
This is what the
and KG always taught me when he used to condition and run in the summertime, he would sing on the beach because he would practice talking while he's tired. And a lot of guys, either one don't talk because they're not in condition to talk, or they don't know what the hell to say. And that's why a lot of people are quiet on the court. So as a coach now in this role, it's like we talked about. It's like my job as a coach is to get you to understand what you need to say. Despite I'm trying to teach Ryan last night, like the things to say, because again, most players right now don't know what the hell to say. So they don't say anything. And then you're on the court and it's mute. And now the pick and roll happens. And then now it's too late. And then now you're able to manipulate this offense, like kind of how Halliburton did last year to us. And it's too late. So if we can be the smartest players on the court, most nights we'll give ourselves a chance to win because of just our intellect.
Your point guards are in good hands. Very good hands. Like this is for Bucks fans watching this, like especially because with KPJ, Cole Anthony, Ryan Rollins, even Mark Sears too. Obviously, he had to get some burn because of injuries, but like people are excited about him. Like it's a good guy to learn from.
And there's no egos, and that's what I love about this group. It's like, you know, they're willing listeners. You know,
teams like this win. I don't care how you put it on. Like teams who care about each other, one. Teams who are selfless, because you got to understand there's two agendas to this. It's the team's agenda, which is to win. Trust me, no coach wants to lose a game.
For sure.
If he believes he can play and win, he's gonna play you. No coach wants to lose the game.
Right, yeah.
And then the other agenda is the player's agenda. That what it is, regardless of playing, not playing, I have to get better this season, one, and I have to be ready. So you have to be able to understand this, be calm and collected, and
execute.
And execute.
Mm-hmm.
There is an agenda. There's no hiding it. Of course, everybody wants to get better, but they have to do that regardless of playing, not playing. They have to.
Right.
Right? And the other thing is, the team's agenda. It's about winning. We have to win games. I don't care.
That's it.
I do not care. We have to win
You
games.
got to win. Hot seat.
Darren Williams from your era too. I was thinking I was forgetting somebody, but Darren Williams was a
Devin Harris.
Devin, yep.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of Mo Williams. A lot of guys were, again, those are guys, a lot of guys were in front of me making All-Stars before I got to go on.
Like that, you know, like when he says talk, you know, and especially, even if you have Giannis or Jokic or even Shea, even anybody, and you're a point guard, you literally, even if they are in the right spot, you have to put the other guy in the right spot. Like, hey, come to the 45, come to the 45.
We were watching at the coaches meeting today, and coaches are saying a couple of different things. I'm like, but coach, the difference is, I think, when you're on the court and everyone doesn't know, you need somebody on the court that's able to manipulate the defense to where if you see a mismatch, go. You know, automatically go. Like it can't be just I'm programmed. I'm checking the shooter, but I see Rondo's on Evan Mobley. Do I go? Do I not go? It's not a thought. It's like so now
automatic.
Yeah, the players need to know, understand what they need to do.
I'm excited to see Brunson against you guys in a couple nights because
Yeah.
the way he talks, it seems like he's always like very active, almost to the point of where he can like run up to a player, just point him in the right, literally
He does.
push him in the right direction.
He just scores so much though. He just scores.
I'm gonna look for that. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
we're gonna look for that. But he's just more of a scorer, Tony. I'm not gonna lie to you because if you think about it, he does say like, "Hey, KG, not you, cat." Like I've seen him do that.
It's for him to get his
But it's for him.
shot.
Okay.
He said it. He said it.
See, that's why you guys are the experts.
Which
right?
is-
I'm looking at it from TV view.
No, he's trying to get it out of the way so I can get here.
so I can-
Yeah, so
get
get
the shot up.
to the two. But he, I'll be honest with you, he's a legit point guard than other guys because you're not gonna put. Obviously, we're not putting Luka and these guys. Obviously,
Yes.
these guys are hybrids. We're not talking about Steph Curry. Like Steph Curry, you know, like he's a hybrid man. He's not. Of course, he plays maybe like a PG in the point position, But this guy's coming off screen shooting. So it's not the point guard we're talking about.
No, but
per se.
if we're talking about the greatest minds of the game, I got to put Steph up there.
Oh, yes,
Mind of the
100%.
Yeah. He's able to
100%.
manipulate it so many different ways.
You know?
It's fun to watch.
Like, you cannot say Damian Lillard's not a point guard. He's a point guard. He's just not the point guard
Of 2010,
Rondo.
it's just different.
Yeah,
it's just
traditionally,
different.
it's just different. Yeah, and
Yes.
in the game, once more, I guess now those type of point guards, the Tyrese Maxey's, the guys that can
Bro,
go
hybrid
give you 40.
That, These point guards now, like the Damian Lillards of the world, the Tyrese Maxey, the point guards who can like just go and get it. Those are the point guards you said before. If they run the show, if they're going to be successful. I don't know if, not only necessarily if they're going to be successful, the goal is that they're going to put the ball in the basket. So now, like, you're going to have a chance with them.
Absolutely.
And now guards are hybrids too, but obviously bigs are also hybrids.
Yes.
Like KG, when he came out, he's 6'11" and can do what?
Yeah.
Like,
Shoot.
and he wasn't
Do it
even
up.
shooting
Yeah.
threes.
Right.
And now you're 6'11" and you're not shooting threes. Yeah,
Right.
you're not going to
Something
last
wrong,
in the
yeah.
league.
Shoot. Do you have, and then obviously, how long have we been going for? 30 minutes?
Just a little bit over, yeah.
Oh, okay, it's perfect. It's perfect.
over?
Okay, it's perfect. So I'll have one last one, and then we'll kind of come towards the end of the show.
Wrap it up.
Which locker room is you've had the most fun at from all the teams you played?
That's a really, really great question. But I've been so fortunate to play in a lot of different locker rooms. The Celtic locker room was fun. A lot of fun times. I was young. I was single. I was,
The point guard of the Celtics. Like, yeah, it sounds like a good time.
fresh into the game, and I was able to, like I said, back in the day, like I said, we would go different cities. We would go outside. We would go walk. We would go to the mall. We would go to dinner, and playing with the big three. Like I said, they changed my life as well with all the experience and exposure that we were able to have on the road trips and favorite cities like Toronto, New York, Miami, LA, team dinners,
Yes.
private rooms. So it's kind of like, they showed us the ropes on how to do it. So that was great times. And then obviously fast forwarded to when I was a lot older, I had, more money to do certain things I really wanted to do. That was great experiences with, the teams like the Lakers, even living in the Triangle in Chicago. When it was a great time for me, just being able to walk outside. And because, in NBA, you don't get a chance to kind of do normal things. And for me in Chicago, I literally took walks damn near every night.
But first of all, you should come to Greece. One, have you ever been to Greece?
I just went to Greece with my wife on our 1 year anniversary.
Really?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Was it good? Did you like it?
One of the best times of my life. I mean, we partied like 4 straight nights. And,
that sounds like Greece. That sounds like Greece.
I love about Greece because it kind of reminds me of, in the sense of like Miami. Like we would my wife and I would take naps from like 10 to 12 a.m. And then we would get up at 1:30, get dressed, and go out and stay out to 6:30 in the morning. I mean, crazy.
8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was never a time we came in where the sun wasn't coming up.
Everybody speaks English. Everybody's polite, and it's cheap too. It's not expensive. Like you could really have a ball. Would you guys go Athens or islands?
Mykonos.
Of course you did.
Mykonos.
Of course you did.
But you let me know where to go now. Next time, I mean, this.
Just name drop him.
Yeah, okay. Mykonos, Paros, obviously Santorini to kind of chill, but then Athens. You're gonna come to Athens and Thessaloniki. You come to Thessaloniki. You come there. This is gonna trust me. You're gonna enjoy.
Okay.
And Crete. And Crete is very like you're gonna like those 5-6 places, but then you need at least like 2.5 weeks. But I am telling you, you will want to get an apartment after this. You'll be like, no, I want a place.
I do want to get a place overseas somewhere.
You should. Whenever you want to. Yeah. Actually, you don't even need to. Just let me know whenever you want to disappear. No, I got you. I'm never even joking.
I appreciate that.
Whenever you want to like disappear, it's like, hey, I don't know. We got you, man.
All right, cool.
This is the worst part of the show. Coming to the end of the show, man, you don't understand how much I appreciate you come for the show and doing this, and not only for me and the fam, but like, people who are watching and listening, like they really want to hear from you and know, like, what's new, what have you been doing? Yeah. Not just to see you show up in
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
in a TV broadcast. It's such a blessing to have you, and not only that, but I do think, just sitting with you a little bit, because we talked last year as well. I wasn't with the team last year, just being hurt, but like I was so glad like the team had somebody like close like that as being a player and kind of could see things in a different light and kind of relate, and it was like exactly what's going through a player's mind.
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, I had a guy like Sam Cassell in my career that did the same thing. Tyronn Lue did the same thing. So I understand like that kind of bridge between the players and coaches to like make sure we're all on one accord. And like I said, everything is for the up and up, and everybody's going in one direction, and we're all trying to accomplish the same goal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Love it.
Tony, do you have anything else to say? I don't know.
I think that's it. I think that wraps it up.
Wraps it up. Please go and follow Coach Rajon Rondo on all his
You got
socials.
the name right too.
Yeah. You always say it.
Twitter, X, I don't know what it's called. It's not anymore. Instagram, whatever you get it, socials. Please, when this episode comes out, go spam his account. Like, we'll show you Thanalysis and stuff like that. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the show. You guys are the moving angel of the show. This show has been amazing. It's like really been something different this year, man. Taking off this season it's amazing. Thank you guys so much. And for people who are listening, you can get our podcast on every platform, right?
Everywhere. If you can download it, or there's an app, anywhere. Just
anyway, wherever you get your podcast from, we're available on every platform. Thank you guys so much. Thanalysis out.